Welcome again to the Paris Motor Show here with Autogefühl and Thomas. And the next insight for today is the new Volkswagen e-Golf update. And this is the e-Golf Touch. It's a concept vehicle, but that comes very close to the soon-to-come whole facelift of the Golf family. And we'll take a look at it. The front is not changed yet, but the e-Golf in general has this blue stripe here to signalize I'm the electric guy, and also the E badge with the blue E. And well, it doesn't need any big coolers in the front, but it still has the same style, because the philosophy of the e-Golf is let's remain rather a normal car look and not a special electric car as we've seen with the Volkswagen ID, for example. If we move on to the side, we can see 16-inch rims, so they are not that huge. And that is to reduce the rolling resistance. Also, you can see that the wind resistance is being reduced. We more see a closed rim feature. You have to like it from the visual part, but they're very effective. Then normal Golf side profile, it has this new paint on there, and also says, you can read it, the update that the e-Golf is receiving right now means the range goes from 190 to 300 kilometers of range. And for most people, this will definitely be enough for your everyday commuting. Also, the horsepower figure has been raised a little bit, now at about 135 horsepower, was about 115 before. Normal Golf ending here. So this is really, if you think, oh, I'm an existing Golf customer, I know I appreciate normal Golf, but I want to go electric, and then with the 300 kilometers of range, you can really do that now. And maybe let's start by flipping the VW logo to get a look at the trunk here. So you don't lose too much trunk. This is the DIN audio system, which is mounted for when you have the top audio system then, and everything else, 12-volt power supply. You can flip the seats normally like this to have a good transition to the interior, and we'll take a look at that one right now. Let's take a look at the interior. As we know, a good door closing sound, and then everything is more modern in a tech style. For example, here it's kind of robot atmosphere, let's call it that way. And as we know, a good build quality. We know that this, let's call it maybe checkered structure, is known from the GTI in red. Here in the e-Golf, it is designed in blue. And what I can tell you are that those seats here are very comfortable. I really also like them in the GTI, because on the middle part, they're not that sticky. So you can, move around very well. But here at the sides, you have good side support, so you don't go right and left if you're maybe more on an agile ride. Also, a lot of blue control stitches, also the inside of the steering wheel. And this is the so-called e-Golf Touch I've told you, and this is something like a concept which also shows here the active info display, or virtual cockpit called at Audi. This digital instruments already in the Golf, and this will come with the Golf facelift in the LA Motor Show, so it will probably look exactly like this. Also with a middle infotainment screen, we've got a new one, I think 9.2 inch, but we'll take a look at that soon. First of all, again, a seating impression, and those ones are really my favorite seats for the compact class, because they have the combination to have a cozy cloth material, a very worthy cloth material on the inside, but at the same time you've got good side support. So I've recently got the question, which compact car would you buy if there would be no limit in price? And then everyone thinks about Mercedes A-Class and Audi A3, but especially with those seats here, and with the very elegant atmosphere, especially in the E variants, or in the, for example, Golf GTE. For me personally, I would have to say, I think I would go with an e-Golf or with a GTE, depending on the loading possibilities I have. That's my opinion. Looking forward to yours, of course. Again, standard Golf seating position. Also here, for example, you see not hard plastics used. This is a high trim level Golf. The e-Golf at the moment in Germany, for example, it's 35,000 euros. It's of course not cheap, but they're not really earning so much money with those cars yet. They're a little bit, supported financially also by the manufacturers. They will be able to earn money with that as soon as more electric cars are being sold. And if you want to look into the production of the e-Golf, Holger recently did a feature of that. And I'd say let's take a look at this huge infotainment screen, because we'll see that one also soon in the whole facelift. And this is the new infotainment screen. It will also probably look like this in the Golf facelift, so a good preview here today. That's, by the way, it's not how it looks like. Someone has already ripped off that. It doesn't mean it's bad build quality, but sometimes, I'm not sure if that maybe spies from other manufacturers, people go on the motor shows and really rip the cars apart. It's a really strange thing, but we of course try to be gentle. Here, proximity sensor. And also in the Skoda Kodiaq, for example, we've already seen that those buttons that were really normal buttons before, like here, menu and home, they have been replaced also by those touch fields which work in a capacitive way. And you see you have a bigger screen now, again with the proximity sensor. If you come closer here, there's a demo mode running on it right now. Going here on the motorway. See if we can do anything else here. For example, here you can also have a split view, as you have a lot of room here. Or for example, car, here it says 294 kilometers of total range. Of course, it will be reduced when you have the AC, for example, turned on. Here you can also see if you will be able to recuperate. It's always when you brake, then first the energy is recuperated into the battery, which is placed right there. And then if you need more braking power, then also the normal brakes are applied. That's how it usually works. And app, this will also be working with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You will be able to connect, for example, here in the lower part, and there's the USB slot, which is also illuminated. So overall, I think a system which is likable, reacts very fastly, and also if you're an existing Golf customer, there's no big transition for you. So I'm really looking forward how the final facelift will look like. And again, the e-Golf, my favorite, with my favorite blue color, also here contrast stitches all the way around, and the classic Golf beverage holders. Now let's get in the rear just to test again the space we have, and it's pretty standard for a compact class. And see, for my size, there's reasonable knee space. 1m86 or 6'1". If you're not Autogefühl subscriber, also headroom-wise, that's perfectly fine. So, and this is again really a car where you don't want an extra electric car from a look on the exterior, and also not on the interior. If you want rather a normal car, but going for it electric. And I think it's also good to offer both. And we'll see it also with the Volkswagen ID, the pure electric car that will come later. This one here, the updated range from the e-Golf, will be the transition, because the Volkswagen ID, yeah, we have to say it comes too late, basically, but the e-Golf then with the topped up range can really make this transition that you can already buy a car with the range that is basically sufficient. In what role will then the e-Golf in general play? I would say we ask an expert for that. And from Jakob Kehler, spokesperson for the Golf range inside from the Volkswagen Corporation, we want to know which significance has the e-Golf inside the Golf range?
Well, the e-Golf is for us our first electric car, for sure, in the series production in the Golf range. And until now, it's been really important in markets like Norway or Netherlands, where electric mobility is very big. And with the new car that we present here, or it's more outlook for the new car, we show that we can do until up to 300 kilometers in range with this car. And so for us, this is the next step. And after this, we will come with cars like the ID that we show today in Paris. And those cars will have 400 to 600 kilometers in range. So the e-Golf is a really important car for us now and for the years to come.
So what can you maybe do to convince more customers, maybe if I'm a normal Golf customer, to convince me that I maybe should switch to an e-Golf?
Well, it depends on, first it's a market question. There's markets where the surroundings, infrastructure and stuff like that are pushing it for electric mobility, which is a thing that we as a producer cannot do. This has to come from the States. And but what we can do is build good cars and extend the range. And in this segment with up to 300 kilometers, We are really good in the competition, and so we think and hope that the customers will acknowledge this and and decide when they want to go for electric car in the compact class, that they will decide for the Golf, which is not only electric car but also a really good car that every year almost a million people who buy a new car trust in, with a combustion engine or electric car. So I think it's a good choice for people who want a really good, reliable electric car.
So do you think that the new stepped-up range and a little bit more power that you get, that this will bring more people to the e-Golf then, that you have a higher percentage of the electric share in the model range?
Yeah, for sure. Range is maybe the most important thing right now for electric car. And there's also more stuff to come, which I cannot talk about today because we will present the car in the end of year. But there will be other features in the Golf as total, I think, which customers, especially customers for e-car, will really like. So we are really sure we can attract even more customers with this car.
Thank you.